asleep, I envisioned an empty room with doors across every wall. I opened one of the doors, and it was us, back at the beach, before you got sick. I stand on the sand, the cold waves washing over my feet. Do you remember how cold the water was? Our lips were turning blue. Blue. And the dolphins, you remember those? I wanted to swim out to them, but you said it was too far. As the tide got higher, we watched the waves crashing on the rocks. That day was so perfect. I wish we could go back. Did you hear that? I think someone's coming down the hall.
Again, the doors across every wall. It's such a powerful image. And that is their words, right? Yeah.
Made me wonder what is so remarkable about someone coming down the hall. Why is that so extraordinary that they had to talk about that?
It made me think of being in a hospital, talking to someone that was sick, and when that happened, it was like, oh, the doctor's coming. My chance to talk to you is open.
It makes me think of that, like that idea of walking down the hall, the anticipation of seeing someone come towards you that you want to talk to, or you know has something to say to you, or whatever it is, that like kind of expectation that can build.
And it holds with it the impending doom or like ecstasy of, you know, what's going to happen. Is it going to be good news or bad news?
Yeah, and I think the same with the wall of doors. I think it's an interesting juxtaposition thing. Like if you have this vision of a hospital and all the different rooms, and then one of them's a memory though, and it's not actually where the patient is. It's a memory, and the memory reminded me of the movie The Beaches. That's what that one reminded me of.
It made me. Go ahead.
It made me think of the power of memories and how important they are.
It made me think that maybe that person's not supposed to be there.
But it's not.
So maybe
Visiting hours could be over and there's
visiting hours, or maybe they weren't like close.
Strange for a long time.
Yeah.
I know how it is to the hospital and close family, unless like a strange family, brothers, sisters, parents, sons, daughters are allowed to be there, period, on the story.
But she could be contagious, or maybe the daughter didn't get her shots or something, so she hasn't been cleared to go in there, or things like that.
Kind of reminds me, not maybe of a hospital, but maybe more back in older times when people didn't really go to the hospital. They would just stay in bed. Like maybe even 100 years ago, they would just stay in bed and don't go near the sick person. Especially if it's a kid. Kid, go outside and play. Grown-up stuff is going on in the house.
It made me think of how simple a day at the beach is, but when your mom is sick and possibly dying, how special that is. Like, it's just an ordinary day at the beach, but put in perspective, it's really special.
It made me think of a loved one who maybe couldn't go to the beach, but they were sharing this memory as if they were there to try and connect and be like, you were there with me, even though you weren't there physically.